hello there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, or this channel's name is Pucokie, and it's a bit of a irrelevant channel, Road to Irrelevancy, as the title is probably called on this video. I thought it would be funny because, yeah, I'm pretty irrelevant as far as it comes to the typology community. Needless to say, thank you so much if you have stuck around. I do not blame you if you're watching this video and you have unsubscribed and maybe you decide to subscribe again. That would be awesome. But I, again, don't blame you because I've been very MIA for the last 8 or 9 months. And there are a lot of personal reasons why. I'm going to go over them very briefly. But I really want to focus on the social media / YouTube reasons that I just have worked through in the last few months, and maybe they'll be inspirational or help others to kind of get into something or do something they're afraid of doing or they've been wanting to do for a while. So to highlight the personal reasons, I'm not going to go into detail about them. Number one, I moved from South Carolina to Georgia. That transition was a bit different because I left a secure job that had full-time benefits for something that was a lot less secure because I wanted to move back to Georgia. I grew up in Georgia, I went to college in Georgia, have a lot of friends and family in Georgia, so I wanted to be back. Never thought that I would want to live in the South again, but here I am, and I actually have fallen back in love with this area, the Atlanta / Georgia area. Number two, when I moved back, I was going to live with one of my friends at the time, and I say at the time because we are no longer friends. I ended up living with a good friend of mine, even though so many people told me it's probably not a good idea, and even I had red flags beforehand with this person, or I saw red flags with this person that kind of told me this isn't a good idea, and I even expressed that to her several times. And then when we lived together, those red flags were magnified, and it was on a very regular basis. And I'm not saying I was perfect in the situation, but I did end up choosing to break the lease and end our roommate-ship and also our friendship because of certain things that I personally cannot get past. I can definitely forgive, but I can't get past. And I don't think you should ever have someone in your life that mistreats you, whether that is a friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family member. There are certain people who are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and I truly believe that. Most of my friends I keep like indefinitely and for forever, and I really felt like this person was the same way, but certain things were revealed to me that showed me that this person really didn't really have my best interests in mind. And maybe she thought she did, but it just was not a healthy friendship, and I chose to stop interacting with that person. So those two things, the moving itself was, and the insecurity as far as funds go, was challenging. I had to work a lot, which is probably good for me, and anybody that is in my age range, whether that is you just graduated from college, you're in college, or you're like in your mid to late 20s in general, it's like this is kind of a circle jerk. It's an awkward time, and this is a time to make these mistakes. I'm not saying make the same mistakes that I did. If I could give anybody advice about certain things, and in fact, if you guys ever want to see a video about me talking about things more in depth, whether that's friendships, moving to another state. I know there's a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there are some people still that want me to talk about my experience living in Seattle, Washington, and the reasons why I left and things like that, and I would love to do that in the future. But yeah, so those were two really big things, and I finally now have, well, I have a few jobs, but my main job is something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm able to support myself from that. And it is more aligned with my major. I did international affairs in college, and this job is very political, which obviously is controversial. So I'm not going to really go into that, but if you want to figure out what I do for work, you could probably figure it out. I'm in a place now where I have very positive, good people around me, and I can't really complain. I do work a lot during the week, but I can't complain as far as having that support system. And I feel so much better because in the environment that I was in, I was emotionally drained all the time, basically from September until earlier this month. I have felt very emotionally drained, and it has been challenging. Going to the YouTube reasons, this is like the more, I guess, relevant, pertinent stuff, and this can be applied to other things as well, not even just about social media. I found myself starting to compare myself to others on YouTube, and I'm so like far removed from this now that it's hard to pinpoint every single thing that happened for me leading up to this. But I know that at a point I was very supportive of other people in this community, and I found that sometimes that support wasn't very mutual, which is fine. Not everybody's gonna want to support you or be like your friend or something, but I realized there were certain people in this community that really didn't have anybody else's best interests in mind. Were kind of just, you know, climbing their way to the top, so to speak, which is silly because it's YouTube, and yeah, it can be a very like viable career option, but at the same time, it's YouTube. We should be doing this, well, I was gonna say we should be doing this because we love it and all this stuff, but I guess there's different reasons, and I can't really knock people's reasoning behind why they do YouTube. But personally, I started my channel because I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to build a community where people could grow and learn about similar interests and even expand your mind to other things. And this goes also for me. Like, I really value and appreciate when people leave me comments about things they would like to see in videos, and I really want to address those more. I've been very like down on myself about not responding to comments as much anymore. Well, I haven't been. And I haven't been responding to any emails and things like that. And I really have felt very disconnected. And I know that that's mostly because I disconnected myself. I've kind of intentionally not been interacting with people that I used to interact with. And it isn't because those people are bad or anything like that. It's just I found myself kind of in a headspace that wasn't constructive. I was comparing myself. I was also posting videos because other people wanted to see certain content, or I felt pressured to deliver certain things perfectly, which, if you've watched my channel, I do not have a perfect channel, and there are many flaws. Like, I really want to work on editing and different things like that, but I found myself just like putting so much pressure on this channel to be something that really in the grand scheme of things I don't want. I want this channel to be something that's creative and fun and where people can relate to one another. I really loved the interviews because of that, but even with the interviews, I was pushing myself to do so many interviews, and a lot of those interviews I didn't actually vet the people that I was interviewing. So I would meet the people sometimes 5, 10 whatever minutes before the interview, and they would be live, and the whole time I would be kind of on the edge of my seat, very weary / reluctant of how people were gonna respond. The interviews were so fun, and I really miss that. I really miss doing live videos, and I don't really know if I'm gonna do as much of that on this channel. I think I want to direct that to the channel that I made a while back about interviews, which I haven't posted on yet. But don't hold me to that yet. I really just need to get back in the swing of things on here. But yeah, I don't really know what the schedule's gonna look like for videos. I want to try to do at least one video a week, but again, I may not do that. I don't want to put any pressure. I think what I want to do is just get back into the swing of things and then go from there. But that being said, the comparison thing is it's so annoying, and reading comments is also can be very toxic, because there's a lot of comments. Obviously there's a lot of good comments, and there's a lot of just neutral comments, but there's also a lot of negative comments. And for certain videos that I've posted, people just really, because they're kind of hidden by this anonymous force, they're just writing things that they really would not say to you in real life. And it can be very hurtful. You can say, oh, it doesn't bother me, and maybe some people it doesn't bother them. But for me, having negative comments and stuff, and kind of looking at all of these positive comments, and then I get 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever amount of bad comments, I would be lying if I didn't say that I didn't focus even a little more than I should have on the negative comments. And that was unhealthy. And even I got into a bad habit, and I say bad because it really wasn't healthy, of responding to everybody's comment. And there was some people that I really shouldn't have been responding to. What I should have been doing is I should have just blocked or deleted the comment and moved on from that. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the future. I want to respond to comments because there's a lot of people that I really want to interact with on a more personal level, but there are also people that I have no interest in interacting with. And it's funny because I kind of think back to college. I took this international relations class. I don't know if I've talked about it on this channel at all, but there's this project called Statecraft that we'd have to do, and we all had different groups, and the groups were divided up by the professor. And in my group, I was elected to be president. I didn't even run. They were just like, you're gonna be president, and you could pick what kind of country you had. You could be a monarchy, you could be a dictatorship. I'll fill in the blank. You could have been any of those. I decided to be like a pacifist country, and this was like before I even started this channel, but I called my country pucokie, and they actually like went with it. Like, yeah, I mean, I've had the word pucokie for a while, but yeah, I was a pacifist nation, and I really didn't. I was the only country, or we were the only country that didn't perform espionage and all this stuff. And that's kind of what I want this channel to be like, is I know that this is kind of wishful thinking because this isn't necessarily what's going to happen, but I would like to kind of separate myself from other people in this community. And I know that that's really, I don't know, comparison's gonna happen, and I know that people are gonna respond in the comments sometimes and talk about someone else's channel and have like perfect intentions and all those things, but for the most part I would like to not be as involved in the typology community. I guess like be still involved, but not really get down and dirty with other channels and really go into it. I would love to collab with people. If you do have a YouTube channel and you like to talk about typology or other related topics and you want to do a video together. Again, I will not promise things, but if you do send me a message, especially on Instagram or on my email, which I would say Instagram is the best one, which it is pucokie, just DM me on Instagram and we can do a little collaboration or whatever you want to do. But for the most part, I really want to just forge my own path and just do videos because I want to. I will start subscribing back to channels that I unsubscribed to, not because I didn't like their channel, but I really had to distance myself from this community to really realize the reasons why I'm doing it. And again, the reasons why I am still wanting to do this is I really would like to continue with this narrative of self-growth and also inspire people to do things that they're scared of. I am not someone that's naturally gifted in front of a camera or editing or anything like that. That's not something that comes naturally to me. I am a pretty shy and reserved person. I've had to, over time, and it's taken me years to be outgoing and actually interact with people. Before college, I was very quiet. I did not have many friends. I didn't go to parties. I didn't do little things with people outside of school besides like a couple of friends on the weekends. I would maybe have hang out with them or have a sleepover or something like that. So it's been a huge transition for me. And I know a lot of you, especially us introverts, that are more reserved and shy and maybe soft-spoken, you may still be in the position where you haven't kind of challenged yourself to be more outgoing. And I want to say this to not only introverts, but anybody who is wanting to do something that they're afraid of. Which for me, getting back on YouTube is, even though I so desperately have wanted to get back, and it's something that I think about all the time, it's scary. I don't want to get back to the point where I'm thinking about numbers and how a video is performing and, you know, comparing myself to other people and all that stuff. I don't want to get back to that. And I didn't really do that too much before, but I really just want to realize that my real life matters just as well, even more than YouTube, and I have to take care of my mental health. And this goes for other people too. But you need to do the thing that scares you, because you're gonna regret not doing it. Comparison's the thief of joy. And something that one of my coworkers at one of the jobs that I work told me, and I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he basically said that when it comes to people, your specific brand of person is going to resonate with individuals that other people who may have the same background as you, everything seemingly very similar, but you are your own person. And again, your message is going to resonate with certain people, and certain people, maybe they're not going to get you. You're not going to be everybody's favorite flavor of ice cream or whatever it is. That was kind of a weird analogy, but everybody's not gonna like you. And I know this is very cliche, but it's something that people need to remember is and I found myself so many times, and again, you can fill in the blank, but for me it was YouTube. I felt, oh, I can't make this video because this other person made this similar one, or even though I felt like I had my own take on it. If you have your own flair, your own take on something, and that's the thing, you have to put things in your own words, and you can't copy people directly, completely. You have to be your own person, but that individual person is going to resonate with certain people that your neighbor or that very popular person or whoever it is isn't going to resonate with. And that's something you just need to keep in mind. So if you are afraid to do something, or you feel like, oh, there's too many people doing this, how am I ever going to stand out, and you want a signal to start that thing, I'm giving you that permission, even though you do not need my permission. If you want permission, you have the permission to start that. You should, and you, down the line, you're gonna regret not doing the things that you really feel passionate about. And by all means, you may fail. I have certainly failed so many times at so many things, but the way I see it is, if you don't fail at least a few times, you're not doing it right. You're not growing enough. And yeah, fail your way to success, because I would much rather be 80, 90, 100 years old and looking back on what I actually decided to do and challenge myself, even if I failed miserably at those things, than all of the things I could have done, the people I could have interacted with, the opportunities I could have taken. And I hope that this resonates with anyone out there. So that being said, please leave me a comment, and I'm challenging myself to respond to all of those comments within reason. I'm going to respond to every positive and relevant comment that I get. I'm not going to respond to the negative ones. I will delete those, and I will block you if you decide to be negative in this community. And I don't want to be apologetic about that. But at the same time, I miss you guys. Again, email is probably not the best way to contact me unless it's something to do with collaboration or something like that. But if you just want to talk with me on a more personal level, I would say Instagram is your best bet. I'm on there the most. Even though I don't always post on there, I look at my DMs and I check those, and I'm pretty good at responding to that. With that being said, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day, and thank you so much for watching this video. And for those of you that have stayed this far in this video and also have been following my channel for whatever amount of time, thank you so much for keeping with it. I really don't want to let anybody down, but also I don't want to let myself down, because this is something I'm very passionate about, and it hasn't been the easiest journey getting back into YouTube. It hasn't been the easiest journey in general, but I think it's definitely worth it. And yeah, have a great day. See you later. Bye.